This robot was just filmed close enough to see its eyelashes blink. And it is not a person. UB Tech, the same company that builds robots for car factories, just released a close-up look at their newest creation. And it is unlike anything they've shown before. Skin that catches light like real skin. Hair that moves like real hair. A face that holds a subtle expression instead of a fixed stare. This is the U-World U1. And the footage UB Tech just put out isn't showing off strength or speed. It's showing off a face getting makeup applied, just to prove how little difference there is between the robot and the person standing next to it. Here's what makes that footage so unsettling. The U1 isn't one robot, it's a whole lineup. There's a lighter half-body version called the U1 Lite, a full-body version called the U1 Pro, and a top-tier model called the U1 Ultra, built for maximum realism and movement. Every version runs on 88 points of motion throughout the body, including a neck built on what UB Tech calls a dual-pivot biomimetic cervical spine, engineered to replicate real human neck movement with close to 90% accuracy. That's the detail that lets it turn, tilt, and hold a gaze the way a person actually does, instead of the stiff side-to-side swivel we're used to seeing on robots. And people are already paying for it. When UB Tech opened orders, they didn't get a few hundred curious buyers. Orders crossed 13,000 units before the launch event even finished. The entry-level model starts around $17,000, but the flagship U1 Ultra goes far higher. The male version, nicknamed Ling Yi, is priced near $146,000, and the female version, nicknamed Xiaoyu, comes in around $130,000. That price gap between the male and female models has already sparked its own backlash online, with people asking why one costs noticeably more than the other for what's essentially the same technology. This isn't UB Tech's first robot either. The company has spent years building industrial humanoids for factory floors, supplying companies like Airbus, Texas Instruments, and NEO with robots that handle repetitive, precise assembly work. They even partnered with Siemens to push toward an annual manufacturing capacity of 10,000 units. The U1 is what happens when that factory-grade engineering gets pointed at your living room instead of a production line. At the launch event in Shenzhen, UB Tech didn't just show the robot standing still. Several U1 Ultra units walked the stage alongside real human models, deliberately mixed in so the audience couldn't immediately tell which was which. One robot even danced with a man in a tuxedo. It wasn't flawless. Reporters on the ground described the movements as still a little stiff in places, with occasional lag during interactions. But the visual illusion was close enough that it made people uneasy rather than impressed. Now here's the part that should actually make you pause. UB Tech isn't just building lifelike strangers. They've announced plans to donate 100 customized robots, specifically designed to recreate the face and voice of a real person you choose. Using 3D facial scanning and voice cloning, they want to rebuild someone specific, someone you've lost, someone you miss, and put them back in your home in robotic form, complete with long-term memory, so it can hold onto your past conversations. Think about what that actually means. This isn't a companion robot with a generic friendly face anymore. It's a machine built to wear the face of someone who's gone. UB Tech is framing this as emotional support for China's aging and increasingly isolated population, citing figures like 90 million adults living alone and over 118 million elderly people living without family nearby. But it opens a question none of us are fully ready to answer. If a robot looks like them, sounds like them, and remembers your conversations, does that help you grieve? Or does it just stop you from ever fully letting go? And the skin itself is the reason any of this feels possible at all. People who saw the U1 in person said the silicone skin felt close to real human skin, and that the small facial movements, the kind of tiny expressions we don't even notice we're reading, were rendered well enough to catch you off guard. That puts the U1 in a different category from robots like Tesla's Optimus or Unitree's humanoids, which are built to move and work, not to pass as human at a glance. UB Tech is deliberately competing on realism instead of raw capability, betting that presence and emotional connection matter more to everyday buyers than lifting power or speed. That bet already appears to be paying off financially. UB Tech stock jumped more than 7% on the day of the announcement, And if even a fraction of those 13,000 orders convert into actual deliveries starting later this year, it could pull the company out of years of losses. UBTech has also opened its software development kit, inviting outside developers and partners to build new behaviors and applications on top of the U1 platform, which means the robot you're seeing in this teaser clip is likely just the starting point. That's the line UBTech is now testing in public, on camera, in close-up. And once a company proves people will buy a machine built to look exactly like someone they love, there's no putting that idea back in the box. The question isn't whether robots will start looking like us. That's already happening. The real question is who gets to decide which face they wear next.